Let's go. You trying to play me, bro? Why are you gonna cut the shit, man? Play the opening credits. Play the opening.
Plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go.
What up, what up, what up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of Laces Out Live, brought to you by Game Changers Media. I'm your host, Big C. You know my co-host, Michael A. Jones. How are you doing today, cuzzo?
Oh, I've been a lot better. I will say I've been a lot better. Sorry I missed Friday. I was unwell, had some health issues. But watching Sunday night's game, I don't even know if I want to talk Giants football, to be honest with you. It was a tough night. It was a tough loss yesterday, and I don't know. I think I'm still trying to process it. So I really don't know what to say.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
In
the words of the immortal Hulk Hogan, let me tell you something, brother. You want to know about tough losses? Tough losses is going into Cleveland and getting the shit kicked out of you by the Cleveland Browns. That's a tough loss there, brother.
31-6. Yeah, but I mean, it was just that you go into the fourth quarter and you held Denver to 0 points. The team that was talking so much shit and everybody was giving the Giants 0 chances. And then you even got the commentators at halftime saying, these Giants are for real. These Giants are for real. Well, I'm not going to take that away because you know what? These Giants are for real. The problem is their coaching, especially on defense. You can't drop 8 when all they got to do is get a field goal to win the game. You can't drop 8. They did it in the Dallas game. They lost the Dallas game. And if you ever watch Deonte Banks, as soon as he checks in the game when Adebo gets hurt, as soon as Deonte Banks comes in the game, the fucking secondary's ruined. The guy's trash. He shouldn't never see the field of football ever again. Teams leading by 18 or more going into the fourth quarter were 1,061-0, and now we are that number one loss, the New York Football damn Giants. And it's just pathetic. And then we instead of run, our second or third to last drive, we ran pass, stopped the clock, gave him throw a pick. And it's just, and then we get the ball back, and what do? We run. They had one more timeout. Instead of making them burn that last timeout, we passed incomplete, and they get the ball back. Obviously, we stopped the clock, and they had time to go down and score. And of course, we answered. We went down. We were lucky. We drew some pass interference penalties, and we got very lucky, and we got to take the lead again. But, other than that, then we got some random international fucking kicker who doesn't even count on the roster kicking for us, misses 2 extra points. We missed the 2-point conversion. It was just a nightmare. Anything you could do. I never thought in my wildest dreams at the end of the third quarter there was a way to lose that game, ever. And we did. And I shouldn't sit here like I'm surprised. I shouldn't sit here and expect like, oh, we were going to go to the playoffs. That's not the point. The point is that's a game that should be the easiest game to close out. And we shit a brick. And it was a tough loss.
Well, if you want to talk about stats, brother.
Oh, here we go.
Can you dig it? 11 straight games of a team not being able to score 17 points to drop 31 on you. When your quarterback completes almost as many passes to the other team as he did to his teammates. Listen, I feel your pain and all that, but shut up. Shut up. Crybaby giant shit. Nobody wants to hear it. This team has a Super Bowl in the last 100 years, man. Like, my Miami Dolphins, they are a complete dumpster fire. At least you look like you have some players of the future. You got a talented young wide receiver, although he is hurt. You got a talented young quarterback. You got a running back. You got a pretty good defense. The Miami Dolphins have nothing. We have nothing.
Yeah,
we are the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the NFL. Yesterday was a complete disaster of epic proportions, maybe the worst loss in franchise history. When you take everything into account, and the fact that we wake up Monday morning and the only news to be heard from the Miami Dolphins is that Tua Tagovailoa will still be starting, Mike McDaniel will still be coaching, and Chris Greer will still be doing whatever the hell Chris Greer be doing. So,
right.
As bad as losing a late lead is for the New York Football Giants to a very good Denver Broncos team, we got crushed by maybe the worst franchise in all of the whole NFL.
Touche.
The Cleveland Browns are, they're widely known as being one of the worst franchises in the NFL. And now the Miami Dolphins are, they hold my beer. That's what they did. Hold my beer. You think you're bad, Cleveland? Watch what we can do.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to go from there. Cap, what up, brother? What's on your mind?
Bro, it's bad when I'm getting my words of encouragement from Mr. Rogers and the Ultimate Warrior just chilling with the Macho Man over in freaking the neighborhood and just raising hell. And, it's bad, man. It's bad. It's bad.
It is bad. It is bad. But are you surprised? Are you surprised, really?
No, I just feel for the fan base. I mean, we've seen this coming for since the Bengals concussion. Like, something was not right after that, and it's just you can't cover up the cover up anymore. It's gotten sloppy in Miami, and they got to ride with what they got, man. You paid everybody, and everybody expects everybody to be traded. At this point, I wouldn't trust that general manager with any of our draft capital or any of our trades right now in the near future for the draft and the trade deadline. I mean, that's just me, but like I said, everybody has their own opinion, but at the end of the day, status quo doesn't feel like it's status quo at this point,
Absolutely. And I was saying the same thing. People were talking about what players are going to be traded. And I was like, you have to be really concerned if, he allows Chris Greer to go out and trade players, and after the comments that he made at the end of last season about the status quo will not be tolerated, why would Chris Greer feel comfortable trading away assets unless he's got some confirmation from Stephen Ross that his job is safe, right? So that's even a darker outlook for the Miami Dolphins. If Chris Greer starts going out and making moves, that tells me that his job's not in jeopardy and that Mike McDaniel's going to end up being the scapegoat and we're going to be stuck with a new head coach, but still the same quarterback and still the same guy putting this roster together.
So you're basically saying we're going to experience the definition of insanity and they're going to get away with it.
I mean, that's how it's looking like, right? That's what it's looking like right now to me. I mean, do you see differently?
I mean, for me, we can see what we see now, but it doesn't mean that we can't change it. That's my beef with everybody right now. Like, everybody's quick to go tailgate, but nobody's quick to stop going in that stadium. You can tailgate, but don't go in that stadium. Yeah, they got to feel the same pain we're feeling right now. Just that's me personally. But like I said, everybody do their own. But I just don't want to hear the bitching and complaining when you're going in that stadium and buying up all the stuff that they're selling.
Yeah, you're never going to get everybody on board with that. That's just, it'd be nice. It'd be nice for us all to come together and force a change, you know what I mean? But, it's never going to work out that way. Someone's always going to be willing to buy those tickets up and go to the football games. And it's depressing to be a Miami Dolphins fan at this point.
It is what it is, man. I mean, losing to a backup quarterback on the road, and he's a rookie on top of that. I mean, does it get any more rock bottom than that? It's still early in the season. I mean, are we being premature? Are we overreacting? Or is this like the worst of the worst loss you've ever seen?
Well, this is what the name of the show, right? Overreaction Monday. No, it's not an overreaction. I think this quite possibly is the worst loss in franchise history. I really do. Just the way that we looked, we didn't look competitive. You're absolutely right. They got a team full of rookies, and we didn't look like we belonged on the same field as the Cleveland Browns. That should tell you something. The Cleveland Browns, 11 straight games that they were unable to score over 17 points. They're averaging 13.5 points per game. And we allow them to score 31 on us.
Well,
not all of that's on the defense, obviously. You know what I mean? A lot of set them up to score points.
Miss Finn said it on her show this morning. You didn't hear it? Like, pretty much they did the math. And if you think about it, the defense actually just gave up 10. The rest were all for turnover points.
I mean, the defense still wasn't good, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Yeah, there was some bad calls by the refs, but this defense has been a problem too all year, regardless of, only giving up 10 points yesterday or whatever it equals out to. This defense is a problem also. It's not, you know what I mean?
Then we got to keep the same energy with Weaver then. If nobody else is leaving, why would Weaver leave?
Because there's going to be scapegoats. And maybe Anthony Weaver, because nobody else is going to want to take this job with Chris Greer and Tua Tagovailoa still in the building. So maybe Anthony Weaver steps up and becomes the head coach next year, because we're stuck with Tua unless we rip that Band-Aid off. I mean, the Denver Broncos showed that it can be done.
You're telling me that out of the defensive production you've seen all season, that they can possibly make him a coach when they're
I wouldn't say that. But who else are they gonna get to come in with Chris Greer as their general manager and Tua Tagovailoa as coach? Nobody's gonna want to touch that.
I get that, but the first thing you told me when I said Weaver was scapegoat. So if he's a scapegoat and that's your first reaction, then why would they want to promote him to do anything else if he's on the verge of becoming the third defensive coordinator in 3 years.
Well, I'm saying he could be a scapegoat. I think firing the coaches and doing nothing else makes them a scapegoat. Not that they aren't deserving to be fired. I'm not
I
saying
thought the
that they're
special
not.
teams coach from last year was a scapegoat.
I mean, supposedly, and we see that he wasn't the only problem. This team is not. You can't
How many
pinpoint
scapegoats we got?
however many there is until we move on, until we completely blow it up.
We got a farm of scapegoats?
Obviously, if we're not blowing it completely up, Cap, you're saying this area right here is the problem, and that's the only problem.
I'm telling you, it's the quarterback is the problem, but everybody says like that's our problem that we're stuck with, and we can't do anything about it. So, I mean, that logic should go with Weaver too.
So, is quarterback the only problem to you?
No, of course not. We're starting to see, like you say, but I mean, if we're dictating the logic is no one's leaving, so why would we get rid of Weaver if we have no backup plan?
I mean, I don't have all the answers, Cap. I just feel like they're gonna.
We literally just went through a coaching search for a defensive coordinator after Fangio.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I don't blame Weaver completely because Weaver wasn't given the right tools. You know what I mean?
Are you kidding me?
You think he was?
Bro, like the only thing he was lacking was the cornerbacks. And I mean, what happened to Cam Smith? He was supposed to be your guy.
He wasn't,
and then,
though. That's
when
not
the
the general manager. That wasn't.
Let me tell you something.
I mean, saying that was his guy.
Douglas and Jones have done pretty good. That was the least of our concern. Like they're in their mid range in there as far as like pass defense. You know what I mean? Like they're not that bad as people want to make them out.
Douglas has been good. Jones has been bad.
Come on, Jones has been bang bang, hit and miss, but he's been more hit than miss.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all.
Well, I mean, okay, we agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, like if Minka doesn't play, who else is going to step up?
If Minka doesn't play?
Yeah, didn't Minka go down?
He went down for a second, but I think he got up.
All right, okay.
On that one touchdown, on that touchdown run, I think he went down, but he got back up.
My thing
I think we relied too much on rookies this year. You let Calais Campbell walk out the door. We don't have a true defensive tackle. You got Zach Sealer playing out of position, so he's not being as good as, and he hasn't been great this year, regardless.
You just paid Zach. You just signed. I mean, you dropped the two guys in Kenneth Grant, and then who else did you get to help in that defense? I mean, Chop from last year has been non-existent.
Marshall, but those were all late round picks. You know what I mean?
No, Chop's a first rounder.
No, yeah, Chop is. I thought he was talking about this year.
So I mean, where's the defense? Where's the draft picks?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't produced they haven't. You know, Chris Greer hasn't been great at drafting guys, though. Let's be real.
So my thing is, if he says he's doing a reset and he's saying the excuses where we're going young, he knew this stuff was coming, and people were pretty much ignoring it, or then you get the video in the beginning of the season of Zach Thomas talking about, there's only one way but up after you hit rock, and it's like, all right, well, all this stuff is starting to make sense. But man, if they're trying to tank with Tua, like, do you understand? That's. I mean, you guys are pretty much giving a free pass for the whole season if this doesn't work out.
I'm not giving a free pass shit. Like, that's not me. Like, don't say I'm not giving a free pass. I think everybody needs to go. Everyone. I'm not giving a free pass, and I don't. It doesn't make sense that they trying to.
No, but I'm saying the perception of not doing anything and letting them do the same thing and not expect, anything in return, like the definition of insanity, like letting them do it and they're doing it. That's like, you're enabling the situation. You know what I mean? Just stay quiet. If you stay quiet, you're enabling.
I agree. Well, we're gonna get on with the show, Cap. I appreciate you coming on.
All right, guys. Mike Jones, I'm coming for you.
All right, buddy.
All right, thanks, brother.
Somebody should have been fired. No lie. I mean, you guys are right. I mean, like you said, Giants are
Everybody
in a
should
different
be fired. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Everybody should. You know,
Exactly.
I'm not giving anybody a scapegoat. It's two of the biggest problem at this point. He's regressed, and he is the biggest issue in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we cannot ignore the offensive line. We cannot ignore how bad the defensive been. We can't ignore the coaching has been horrible. We can't ignore all the other areas because the quarterback's bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tua has regressed. He doesn't seem to throw the football with the same velocity. He already had a weak arm. I think he's truly dealing with a hip injury that he re-injured his hip last year. They say it didn't have nothing to do with his college hip injury that almost cost him his career, but I don't believe it. I think they lied to us to try to hide the fact that he did re-injure himself, and they look stupid for going out and then giving him the huge contract that they did. And now we're in a mess that, you know, what do? You cut him. It costs us $99 million against the cap.
Yeah.
That's not something that you can really do unless you're just giving away next year too, which we can do that. I mean, cut Tua, fire everyone, and, you know, next year is going to be just as bad. But hopefully by that time we have a bunch of cap room and a whole lot of draft picks to rebuild with.
Yeah. I can see that. I can feel that. All right, let's get into some overreactions. Number one, the Vikings should be taking more heat for messing up at the QB position this season.
I don't think that's an overreaction, in my opinion. Yeah, listen, I'm not a Sam Darnold guy, me personally. Right. But what did they go last year? 14-3, 15-2. Like, you had a team that was very successful last year. You had a quarterback that was winning games, and he went to Seattle and he's winning games again. So I understand that you invested a high draft pick in JJ McCarthy, but there was a market for a JJ. I'm pretty sure that you guys were interested in JJ. You know, would you have gotten a first round draft pick in exchange for JJ McCarthy? No, but you could have got some kind of compensation and gave Sam Darnold a modest quarterback for a modest contract for how well he played last year.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's an overreact. I think they did mess it up.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's just like now you don't know what they are this year. And, you know, I don't care who you have at quarterback. If you have a season like Darnold had last year, you don't change anything. You just don't make that change. And it's coming back to hurt him. So yeah, I definitely don't think that's an overreaction as well. The Broncos are going to win the AFC West and a playoff game.
Oh. Well, let's start this one with you, Mike, since you witnessed what did you see out of this Denver Broncos team yesterday?
You know, I don't think so. You know, the fact that we held them scoreless for 3 quarters, and the whole reason we lost was all on us. Like there's no misconstruing anything. Like everything that transpired was on us. And, you know, we're just getting our stuff together. We're just getting used to a new quarterback. So, and at the same time, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, got Rashee Rice back, starts off the game. They go, 31-0. Absolutely demolish the Raiders. I mean, it's the Raiders, but even Kansas City looked good last week. Kansas City started looking better. They've been looking better every week for the past 3 weeks. So I just don't think the Broncos are good. I'm not going to deny the Broncos aren't good, but at this point, I think the Chiefs are still going to be that team in the West. I don't think that they're going to be able to overcome that. And I think Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City team is probably going to win the West again. So, yeah, I think this is an overreaction, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos ended up winning yesterday, but I think it was more of a mess up by the Giants than it was. Kudos to them making the comeback. That's not something that's easily done. I'm not a big Bo Nix guy, me personally. I've made it clear about how I feel about Oregon quarterbacks. Kansas City yesterday looked really good, and I know they played the Raiders, but they got Rice back. Patrick Mahomes got a nice little group of weapons. You got Worthy, you got Brown, and now Rice back. If Travis Kelce can play decently, they can get the run game going a little bit. Patrick Mahomes still Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid is still Andy Reid. And I'm not counting the Kansas City Chiefs out until they prove to me that they are not who we thought they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You listen, the Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs, and they can run the table. Like, there's no doubt about it. So I definitely agree with that. But like I said, as for watching Denver last night, yes, their defense can be Newsome, but the only reason, like, ever since the Giants got Andrew Thomas back, our offensive line has been a lot better. And the fact that the New York Giants offensive line did its job for 3 straight quarters, I don't see that the AFC goes to the Broncos. I just don't see that. After watching the whole game intently yesterday and all this smack that Denver talked, they didn't come out and do much. I mean, they really didn't do nothing until the fourth quarter. So, that's not how the Chiefs are. The Chiefs are, as soon as they come out, they're going to start hitting you in the mouth, or they're going to be in it at the end either way, and they always find ways to win. So, I definitely think the Broncos winning the AFC is overreaction.
I mean, I think they could win a playoff game.
Yeah, I agree with that part. Yeah, I can go with that one. The Colts or the Pats will be number 1 seed in the AFC.
That's an overreaction to me, 100%. Listen, they've been both playing lights out football. But again, you gotta prove it. This is when things get tougher down the stretch. You know what I mean? When the pressure comes on, you still got the Buffalo Bills over there. The Patriots gotta win the division before they can become the number 1 seed, first and foremost. I know they beat Buffalo, but Buffalo has proven time and time again that the AFC East is their division until further notice. Josh Allen is the superior player on either of these 3 teams. So I'm not going to discount the Buffalo Bills and say that the Colts or the Patriots. I think the Colts are a nice story. Daniel Jones coming over there, playing really good football. Jonathan Taylor has been outstanding. I think both these teams will probably make the playoffs, but as far as the number 1 seed, I'm not willing to bypass Buffalo and Kansas City yet.
Fair enough. All right. Bears will win the NFC North.
Is this a real question?
Yeah. You don't think it's possible?
No.
You really don't? I think so. I think it's a possibility. I'm not sold on the Packers. I'm not sold on the Packers, and I'm not sold on the Lions. And I don't think the Vikings are anything to be too concerned about. No, I'm not saying the Packers suck or anything, but I think there's a possibility. I mean, the standings are bunched up right now. Bears are on a 4-game win streak. So, I mean, I don't think it's an overreaction to that extent. I think it might be maybe a little far-fetched, but it's not an overreaction, I don't think.
Again, the Bears are fighting out of being the basement dwellers of that NFC North. I think the Detroit Lions are far and away the better team. I like the Lions. I always have. Green Bay has stumbled a bit after starting the season strong. But I think Green Bay and Detroit still finish higher than the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears are a year away from being serious contenders in the North. Give Caleb Williams the rest of this year and a year of this system under his belt, and I think they could push for it next year. But this year, I think Detroit and Green Bay are just too. I feel like they're levels above the Chicago Bears.
Okay. I can feel that. Let's see. Here we go. This will be Matthew Stafford's best year in his career.
Well, right now he's kind of on pace for it. I mean, he's had a couple seasons where he's thrown 40 touchdowns in a season. Right now, I think he's sitting at 17-2 on the year. So his interception level is way down from what it has been them other years that he threw 40. Let's see. Dang, 2009. Guy's been playing in the league since 2009. That seems like a super long time, right?
That's crazy.
But I mean, let's see. He had a season where he threw 41, but had 16 picks, 97 rating, 32-13, 26-10, 41-17. Again, the interceptions were up, rating of 102.9 QBR. That is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's sitting right now with a completion percentage of 66. I would like to see that come up a bit, but 1,866 yards, 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 109 QBR with a 66 rating. He's definitely the QBR is 66. I'm sorry. His quarterback rating is 109. So yeah, I mean, not Sam Darnold. Matthew Stafford is absolutely on pace to have his best season, in my opinion. And the fact that the guy's getting better as he gets older, at the very least playing at the very least playing as good as he's ever played.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got to give him that. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I think that the Rams are the favorite in that division. I think they pose a lot of problems for teams like the Eagles, Washington. I think this is a very sneaky, very good team that I would not be surprised if you've seen them at this year's Super Bowl.
Wow. Nice. That'd be kind of dope. Yeah, I agree. I think this has the potential of being one of his best years. I was concerned at the beginning of the season when they were trying to play him having that back issue and all that, but man, he's deadly. He's deadly out in that field, man.
Well, he's been dealing with that back for probably 10 years, bro.
That's true. And he's always been one of those hard ass people, man. He doesn't like to come out of games. Like he'll play through pain, especially when he was in Detroit. I remember that's crazy.
Oh yeah. He used to take a beating in Detroit for sure.
Absolutely. All right. I got one more for you. Dolphins will have a new head coach and a new QB next season. This is for you, brother.
This should not be an overreaction, but at this point, if you look at the contract details for Tua Tagovailoa, I don't see how they move on from Tua this year, even though I think they should. Even though I think that they should, regardless of what it's going to cost this team. Tua has regressed. Tua is not playing at the level. And, a lot of people weren't happy with Tua's play before this year. But Tua's not even playing at the level that people are accustomed to seeing him play. He's not hitting the throws that he was hitting on a regular basis now. He's turning the ball over at a much higher clip than he ever has before.
Yeah.
Tua Tagovailoa got upset with Omar Kelly questioning him about turning the ball over in bunches. He had made a comment about, why do you think that it is that when you turn the ball over once, you have a much higher rate of turning it over multiple times? And Tua was like, I don't do that. He took great offense to it.
Right.
Well, Tua Tagovailoa has the most interceptions, most multi-interception games in the NFL since 2022 with 11.
Dang.
So obviously you do turn the ball over in bunches. This year, he's just turned 2 straight games with 3 interceptions. First time in his career. 1 touchdown and 6 interceptions in the last 2 games. Absolutely horrible. He had a 3.4 QBR yesterday.
Wow.
3.4.
That's crazy.
He's not getting better. He's regressed. And I really think it has a lot to do with the hip injury he sustained last year. I want to say it was the Houston Texans game. He has not looked the same since. And the Miami Dolphins have a very expensive backup quarterback playing starter right now. Because Tua is not the answer at quarterback no more. And I know there's a lot of Tua sympathizers still out there. Oh, well, it's not Tua's fault. He has no offensive line. Tyreek's hurt.
He's doing they're doing the old Daniel Jones playbook, what the Giants did with Daniel Jones.
And I agree with them. I agree that the offensive line is horrible and every quarterback is going to struggle against the offensive, but not doing the things that he does. He's just tossing the ball up, not caring where it goes. He knows it's gotten to the point where it's unacceptable. Even things that are preventable, he's not preventing. And when given the opportunity to make plays, he's not making them. So
right.
I think that we have a new head coach. I think, like I had told Cap earlier in the program, let's say Chris Greer's safe. They got to give someone to the people. They got to hold somebody accountable for this historically bad season that we're having. And Mike McDaniel is the easiest one to make the scapegoat.
When it should be the GM.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying it should just be the GM.
This should be more than that.
The only reason I'm calling Mike McDaniel a scapegoat is me saying that he's a scapegoat makes it sound like I think he's being punished when he shouldn't be. And that's not the case. I'm just saying they're making him the scapegoat because they are putting all Miami's issues on Mike McDaniel, and that's not the case.
Right.
This is a franchise level disaster.
Right.
Where it's the general manager, it's the owner for not making a move, sitting on his hands, not doing nothing. Mm-hmm. It's the quarterback who, if he's not hurt, now he's not even good. He's not even good when he plays. He used to be able to. We used to have him. He used to struggle in cold weather against good teams, but we knew he would beat the bad teams.
Right.
He's no longer beating the bad teams.
Right.
So that means you're not winning any of your games. You're not doing anything for us positive. And I think, and it's not just Tua. There's numerous players on this team that they shouldn't be starters in the NFL. They shouldn't be.
Right.
There's a couple of them on our offensive line. There's a couple of them in our secondary. Our rookies haven't been so good yet. None of our coaches have been good. It's just been a complete disaster. And although I would like to say that we'll have a new head coach and a new quarterback, I'm not positive of it.
You're Mike.
Not positive we will.
Yeah, I get that. I can't believe somebody wasn't fired at all. And then to McDaniel says he's sticking with Tua, like that was mind blowing to me. That was I wanted my on the Giants side. I wanted our defensive coordinator. I wanted him to have to walk home. Like, so I can only imagine from a Dolphin standpoint. No, it's just like nobody's held accountable. How can you guys progress as an organization if nobody's ever held accountable, and instead people are just scapegoated into it being their fault?
Now, do I think who do you replace Mike McDaniel with if you fire him today? I don't know the answer to that. Nothing's gonna save the season. Obviously, we're past that point.
Right.
Does Anthony Weaver deserve to be promoted to head coach? No, absolutely not. That's why I said Chris Greer should be the first one out the door.
Yeah.
You should be starting your general manager search immediately, getting a list of people that together that you want to interview, whatnot, getting your coaching list together, and having your financial people figure out a way that you can possibly get to off the books. Now, I know a lot of the Dolphins fans want to see Quinn Ewers and see what you got with Quinn Ewers, bench Tua. But in reality, the best bet for the Miami Dolphins at this point is hoping and praying that Tua Tagovailoa can put some positive tape together towards the end of the season. So maybe, just maybe, I know it's a long shot, but maybe, just maybe, we could somehow trade him next year.
Right.
And not get that $99 million cap hit. Because if we trade Tua after June 1st next year, it only costs us $13 million. So maybe, just maybe, the offensive line gets healthy. 2 of our offensive line starters have been out. Maybe he can put some positive tape together. I don't see that happening. I don't think there's a chance of that happening. And to be honest, Quinn Ewers, do I want to take a look at the kid? Sure. But Quinn Ewers is not the answer at quarterback neither. He was very unimpressive at the University of Texas. I don't think he's going to be the answer. Zach Wilson most certainly isn't the answer. But at this point, the Miami Dolphins fan base needs something. We need something. We need the owner to show us something and to prove to us that he understands that this is not okay and that someone is held accountable and that he's going to do whatever it takes to bring a winner to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think it's just going to be tough to find somewhere to trade him. It's like just
it absolutely is.
It's just so messed up. Everybody's going to be like, "Oh, he's concussions. He makes bad football decisions. He can't close out a game. He can't play in the cold." Like, there's just so many things. Even to have him as a backup, it's just like you're not going to be able to get much for him. You guys are definitely.
Listen, I agree, but listen, he talked us into paying him. He talked us into giving. So maybe you never know. Maybe I find it highly unlikely, but maybe.
I don't know. Jose, I owe an apology to all Giants fans. I thought y'all were roadkill. Apparently not. Well, thanks, Jose. I appreciate that. I do. I like some positive feedback from Dolphins fans. I appreciate it. Yeah, you guys are definitely in a tough spot. I've suffered for a little over 10 years, 14, 13 years since we won a Super Bowl. And
you guys won a Super Bowl.
And you guys haven't been there.
Playoff game in 25 years.
That's crazy. Yeah. But I mean, you guys aren't going to do it unless you make the changes. And it starts with your general manager. I mean, there's nothing you can do about an owner, but the general manager thing, like, people need to start saying something. Somebody needs to stand up for the organization. Somebody has to be held accountable. Otherwise, you're just going to keep going downhill. And I understand it's easier to just keep hoping and praying something changes, hoping and praying something gets better. But when you got incompetence in the GM spot, you really don't know what you got with everybody else. So it comes down to the GM, in my opinion. It always starts at the GM.
Well, absolutely, but and everybody's sitting there wondering why Chris Greer has kept his job. And I made a point to say, in the 4 major sports in North America, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, no general manager of 10 plus years with multiple times of tearing the roster down, multiple coaching changes, keeps their job through multiple draft busts, continues to keep their job. No way. No way. After 10 years,
yeah,
it's unheard of. So the fact that he's still here and Stephen Ross still saying no changes are happening anytime soon leads me to believe that Chris Greer has something on Stephen Ross. And I truly believe it has something to do with the Brian Flores lawsuits and the way they went behind, the NFL's back. They were trying to lose games on purpose. They bring in Tom Brady and the coach from Denver, Sean Payton in on a private boat, trying to, finagle a deal. It's just, I think he knows stuff that can be detrimental to Stephen Ross and his ability to remain owner of the Miami Dolphins. Because the NFL can force a owner out. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, maybe that's what needs to happen. And
if they feel like but not Stephen Ross ain't gonna go fire Chris Greer and be like, make it so I can't own the team no more.
Right. No, I get it.
But if it's proven that he was trying to pay his coach and this and that and the third to make the game of football fake, you know what I mean? Turn it into like a pro wrestling match where you're determining the outcome before the match happens. That could be devastating to the NFL. So of course they'll push him out.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know. I never followed the Dolphins as much, but now that we do the show and you talk about it, it's kind of like, damn, I don't know how y'all even survive, man. I don't know how you even survive. That is tough being a Dolphins fan. I feel for you guys.
See, I Am Hims makes a good point about Jackson Dart, and I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to rain on your parade. But as big a non-fan of Bo Nix I am, Bo Nix, Jackson Dart reminds me of Bo Nix.
Oh, shit. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, read his comment.
Yeah, I see.
I Am Him.
Yeah, I see. I don't think that his running, if you do notice, Jackson Dart didn't take off a lot this game. He stayed pretty well put. He didn't take off a whole lot. So my hope is that starts calming down. He starts taking more shots in the pocket. You just got to understand, we don't really have a receiver core at this point. Our number one receiver's gone. We haven't gone out and made any kind of moves. Like, I think we should have went and tried to get Jalen Waddle. And until he has some wide receivers that he can actually go down the field to, I mean, he's going to be running more than he should. I don't think he's going to end up being a quarterback that runs a lot. I think he'll be a quarterback that will run a lot in a game if that situation comes up. But as to once he gets settled in and once he starts figuring this game out and getting where he needs to get, I don't think he's going to be that guy that's like running more than 10 times a game, more than 8 times a game. And I think he's just reckless now. He's young. He's excited. He's pumped up. Eventually he's going to get it. He should. I mean, I hope he gets it because you can't do that. I mean, just like when Tua does that stuff and you got to worry about a concussion all the time. It's crazy. So every time the guy fucking moves, I'm nervous. So I get where you're coming from, but I don't think this is going to be what he is. I just think the problem is we just don't have a receiver core right now. And it's hard to develop that passing game like that when you just don't have it. So We shall see. I hope not, because I don't want him to look like Bo Nix. That's for sure. Please don't.
And that's what I meant by it. That constantly running out the pocket immediately, not going through progressions. You know what I mean? Like trying to turn it into schoolyard football.
Yeah.
And your boy Scattaboo, he's gonna end up sharing a mental hospital with Tua.
Yep.
Like, I watch videos of this guy. He runs with his head down, just looks for contact. Watch videos of him in college headbutting brick walls and shit. Like, what's wrong with you, bro?
Yeah, when he took the little toss into the end zone for a touchdown yesterday, he was already 1.5 yards in the end zone and had his head down and still hit a dude in the helmet. Like, what are you doing, guy? Like, come down. Like, it's crazy. I do worry about him. I worry about him more than I worry about Jones. Here we go. Jackson Dart. But
I don't even know with his level of intelligence. I don't even know if you'd know if he had a concussion.
I know, and he always shakes his head.
Walls. Like his teammates are all looking at him. They're walking past him while he's sitting there headbutting the wall. Like, what the hell is this guy doing?
I finally seen him answer the question of why he shakes his head all the time. Because me and Anthony were sitting here watching the game for the last few weeks, and he always gets down and he sits there and he shake, and it's like, what?
Clearing the cobwebs out.
What the fuck is this guy doing? You know? And apparently he answered the question. He said his helmets used to stick to the side of his face, so he'd shake them to try to break that little bit of suction. But I mean, I was like, Anthony, is he shaking his head? He's like, yeah. He's like, constantly. And we just sat here and watched him. Like, if you played a drinking game, how many times Cam Scattaboo shook his head? Like, you'd be loaded before the end of the first quarter. Like, it was insane.
I think it's probably he gets a shit rattled and he's trying to shake it clean. Like,
did you see old ass Aaron Rodgers? He snorted that smelling salt and then threw a 70-yard bomb to the end zone. That shit was.
They're
crazy.
Not supposed to use. It's supposed to be illegal to use smelling salt.
No. The NFL can't provide them anymore. If you want smelling salts, you have to provide them yourself. That's what it is.
Miller says you guys are going to get Olave and you'll like it. Olave made a nice touchdown catch yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not really sold on Olave. I'd rather take Jalen Waddle from you guys. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson.
I'd love for you to take him. The guy, every time he gets touched, he struggles to get off the ground. Like, he just reminds me of one of those guys that cry wolf. Like, oh my god, I didn't make the play because I got hit so hard. Or,
yeah,
look at me, I made the catch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so tired of him not getting off the ground and acting like he's hurt every play.
Yeah, I can feel that. Well, you know, change of a venue, man. It can make all the difference in the world. Don't want Waddle. He's a body catcher, disappears in physical games.
And he jumps every time. He jumps at every pass too. So he's a speed guy, but he eliminates his advantage of his speed because he's jumping in the air for passes he don't need to.
Right.
Instead of running with the ball.
Yep. I'll take him. I'll still take him, Michael Lombardo. I'll still take him. Listen, sometimes you just got to change the team and you got to put a little more effort in, and so you never know. At this point, we don't have any wide receivers I'm happy with, so at this point we just need somebody that Jackson Dart can attempt to throw balls to. So
he'll be a nice asset when you get Neighbors back next year. He'll be a good number 2. He'll be that speed option that makes defenses afraid, and they'll have to play a safety high. So, I mean, he'll definitely be an advantage for you guys.
That's what I was looking for.
But as a number 1, he's not it, bro. He's not it.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's number 1. I never would. But, the fact is we still have to – if we can get somebody this year, that gives them the rest of this year to get comfortable. And then hopefully when Leak comes back, then you got that. So, it just seems crazy if we pick up a wide receiver during the off season, and I don't know. The more time that Dart has with somebody is better. is in my
Well,
opinion.
the good thing about Jackson Dart's contract for you guys is that you got 4 years of putting a great group of guys around him because you don't got to pay that expensive quarterback contract right away.
Right.
So you can do like the Washington Commanders did, and just build a team, or you should be able to. I would draft offensive linemen. Obviously, you'll get Neighbors back, and then use your free agent cap space to just surround him with a bunch of talented free agents and go for a Super Bowl in the next year or two. You know what I mean? This Giants team should be really good if Jackson Dart can progress and be the player that Giants fans think that he can be.
Right. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. I really wasn't expecting him to make his first start, beat the Chargers. Then we lost to the Saints. That was a kind of a downer. I really wasn't expecting the team to be playing like this, to be honest. I know this is a throwaway season. I'm not that naive. I know this is pretty much a season to build on something, to start lay those foundation blocks for the actual season next year, to where, I think the expectations will be a little bit higher. But, still losing these games, like losing the New Orleans game, that it hurts. Losing the Broncos game, it hurts. It hurts all the same. You think that it wouldn't, but even when you know that this isn't the year you plan on doing anything, or the year you think that's going to happen, that, when there's games like that, you just, you should have won. You knew you should have won. And
well, the Giants know better than anybody. All you got to do is get to the show.
Exactly.
I mean,
all you got to do is
they've went from the wild card to the Super Bowl twice and got championships out of it. So yeah, the season's not over. They can still definitely make a run and get in there. It does suck that you drop games to the Saints and this Denver game that you should have definitely won. But there's still time, and hopefully you guys make a trade and give us a first round pick for Jalen Waddle. And
you ain't getting no first round pick, bro. We won't give up no first round for Jalen Waddle.
Never say never. Never say never. We'll give you Jalen Phillips and Waddle for a first rounder.
We'll give you a third and a fifth.
And no, we give you a Jalen Phillips, Jalen Waddle, and Tua Tagovailoa.
Nah, we don't want him. We don't want to. I'd rather have
first
Russell Wilson.
For sexy Dexy Lex.
Hell no. You ain't getting no sexy Dexy, bro. Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
Best nose guard in the league. You're crazy. Give up a second? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but
I mean, he's still super young. We'd have to get a second, I feel like.
At least, or at least a couple picks in return.
My mic keeps messing up, so we're gonna cut it short tonight. Any last words, Michael?
Hey man, sorry about the loss, and I know it's tough, and just hang in there for Finn fans. Same with everybody else, and sorry I missed you guys Friday, and we'll try not to let that happen again. But have a good night. Watch some Monday Night Football, and we'll see you on Friday.
All right, Finn fans, I will catch you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, as long as I'm back from my dental appointment at 7:30 and my haircut at 9 o'clock. So it should be 10, maybe 10:30 at the very latest. But I'll see you all tomorrow. We love you. We appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to both channels.
Yep.
The QR code's up in the corner. If you're not a member of the Game Changers, please help us out and build that channel up. And yeah, we'll see y'all later. Till then, peace. And pins up.
Go Big Blue.
Big C and Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this is the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to